giving you electrical devices. This lecture we are going to discuss the electrical devices. In your syllabus we are having two electrical devices with you. One is the transformer and another is AC generator. So we are taking one device in this lecture and one I will be taking in the next lecture with you. This is about the transformer in detail. Maybe you have seen the transformer in your daily life. Whenever you are going to charge your mobile phone, you are using it in the charger. If any one of you have just opened that charger, you can see the transformer in that, along with some more components like a resistance, a capacitor can be also be seen, because we are taking converting AC into DC over there. But this transformer, it is simply converting AC into AC itself. For converting it further into DC, we have to use the rectifier circuit, as I explained to you in the experiments also when we are using the battery eliminator. So this is, we have to go in transformer in detail first, which is simply used to step up or step down the alternating voltage. So you can say that transformer is a device which converts lower alternating voltage at higher current into higher alternating voltage at lower current. So if we are simply raising the AC voltage, alternating voltage, higher voltage into the lower or lower into the higher, vice versa we can say. So the value of current will go otherwise. If we are converting low voltage at higher current, it will go into higher voltage at low currents, and vice versa you can say. So we are simply converting AC into AC. Either we are raising the voltage or we are decreasing the voltage. That can be done, and accordingly we can have a step up and step down transformers with us. And you have seen the step up transformers in your surroundings on the poles when you see from where you are getting the electric current in your houses. We are using AC currents in all the devices at our places. So principle should be known to you. Principle for the transformer is the mutual induction, because we have discussed mutual induction in detail in the previous classes. So mutual induction is clear with all of you, and you should know that transformer is a device which works on the basis of mutual induction. Of course, mutual induction, if you want to define, you can always define it, that mutual induction is the phenomenon of inducing EMF in the secondary coil due to the change in the current in the primary coil. So first coil is the primary coil, which we are connecting it to the source. AC source is there. This symbol is for AC, and this is a secondary coil out of which we are getting the output. Here we can put a galvanometer which showed deflection when we performed the experiments, Faraday's experiments. So galvanometer can be taken as the load, or we can join any bulb which can glow, or we can attach any your speaker which can give you sound. So the load, whatever load has to be there, which is just to check that we are getting the induced EMF and the induced current because of the change here when we are making the current to pass through the primary coil. First coil we are calling it as the primary coil, second coil we are calling it as the secondary coil. And in this secondary coil, because of the change in magnetic flux, the induced EMF and hence the induced current is produced. That is your mutual induction. So the same phenomenon of mutual induction is being used in the transformer, in which we are simply converting the low voltage into high voltage, and vice versa. Current is to be taken care of accordingly. So if I go with the theory of this, the same diagram again, this is simply showing you the splitted sheets, as we have said in the previous lecture, just to avoid the production of the eddy currents. We are not using the single core metal core of the iron, rather we are using the sheets, laminated sheets, so that eddy currents, losses due to eddy currents are reduced. So going into the theory, if I go with, then you see that if I'm making the current to pass through the primary coil, EMF here in the primary coil is given by minus of d phi by dt. And if there are n number of turns, Np are the total number of turns in the primary coil, then using Lenz's law, you can write induced EMF in the primary coil is minus of Np d phi by dt. Similarly, for the secondary, you can write it is minus of Ns, where Ns are the number of turns in the secondary coil. It is equals to d phi by dt, or you can write it as d phi 1, d phi 2. If I divide these two, I am getting Es upon Ep, I am getting it equals to Ns upon Np, and this ratio is coming out to be a constant all the times. If we find it experimentally, this is termed as K, which is named as transformation ratio, or the turns ratio we call, or simply transformer constant also we say. This K is important with you. And if I talk about the ideal transformer, then there is no power loss. It means it is designed in a way that whatever flux I am producing in the primary, same flux is produced in the secondary, and you can say that output power, it is equals to input power for an ideal transformer. It means for the transformer who is having the 100% efficiency, which is not true of this, but when we have to deal mathematically, we always go with this condition of ideal transformer only. And if there is some loss, we can always find the loss, because we have studied the formula of percentage error and all that can be calculated. So for ideal transformer, input power, it is equals to output power. So if you go with the power, power is V into I. V means voltage into current. Voltage means here EMF in the secondary coil multiplied with the current in the secondary coil. It is equals to EMF in the primary coil into the current into the primary coil. Or you can simply write ES upon EP, it is equals to IP upon IS. So if you want to write the efficiency, efficiency is output divided by input multiplied by 100. If you want to write in percentage, then output power divided by input power multiplied 100 will give you the efficiency in percentage. And if you simply want to write the efficiency, then it is output power divided by input power. And for ideal transformer, it is eta is 100%. It means output is equals to input. So ES upon EP is equals to IP upon IS. But we have said that ES upon EP it is equals to NS upon NP. If I go with theory, then I can equate these all things, and I'm left with this relation, which I can use at my requirement. Whenever I want to use this relation, that ES upon EP it is equals to IP upon IS, which is equals to NS upon NP. NS and NP are of course the number of turns we are taking. This when you are making the primary coil, how many, like 2 turns you are giving, like for secondary how many turns you are giving for this laminated copper wire, that is to be seen. That means number of turns and EMF produced, they are having the direct relation with them, and the ratio we are calling it as the transformer ratio. So this is the theory of the transformer, which should be clear to you. Principle is of course mutual induction, and then working of course you have to see how it works. So for working, you should be knowing that I can have 2 type of transformers with me. One is step up transformer, second is step down transformer. So when you need to draw, you can draw a number of turns simply like this. That this is showing you the input, you are giving AC, this is the symbol of AC. And primary turns, number of turns in the primary coil are less than the number of turns in the secondary coil. Then it means it is, you are raising the number of turns when you are moving from primary to secondary. So you are increasing the EMF. So ES is greater than EP. But for keeping the power constant, it means IS should be equals to should be less than IP. But for this, K constant is greater than 1. For the step up transformer, this K is greater than 1. This is to be noted that the transformation ratio, it is greater than 1. And this output is always taken across some load. For showing the load, we can always make some resistance, that is to show the load resistance to take the output. But of course, you should be noting it that in transformer, input is also AC, output is also AC. So I have to attach a device which works on AC to check the output over here. Now, if the number of turns in the primary are more than the secondary, then of course K is less than 1, then the transformer is termed as step down transformer. So I am having two type of transformers with me. One is step up transformer, for which K is greater than 1. Another is step down transformer, for which K is less than 1. Number of secondary turns are less than number of primary turns. You can say that EMF induced aggregate in the secondary will be less than the primary, or IS has to be greater than IP to keep the power same, input power for an ideal transformer, if I say. But in practice, we don't have any ideal transformer, but for doing mathematics, we always talk about the ideal transformer. Simply you can write output like this, that output will be taken, or you can make the load resistance across which the output will be taken. And number of turns you can simply draw with the pen like this. No need to draw these splitted sheets, because it will become very difficult to draw. So drawing whenever you have to do for the step up, you will be making, take care of the number of turns. It should be little more than the primary. And here number of secondary turns should be less than the number of turns the primary coil. These two lines I have drawn to simply show the phenomenon of mutual induction, which is the symbol for any transformer. You have to make the primary and secondary coils. You have to show that mutual induction is there. Important transformer with you, when you see in the market or when you are opening it in your charger, as I've said, then this looks like this. These are three wires which are going here. Two will be going to the mains, and output can be taken. For earthing, the central wire can be given, and the value is always written on it, like 24024 means it is giving you 24 volt AC which works on 10 ampere. I can have 9 volt, I can have different voltage of transformers with me, and this is just to show you that individual sheets, individual laminas are there, and they are insulated by proper lamination. This is simply to show you the primary and secondary coils, to show you that copper wire, laminated copper wire, it looks like this. This is the inner view of this transformer. If you this is the inner view of this transformer. If you open up this whole thing, then you will be able to see the things like this. So otherwise soft iron core is there, but this soft iron core is divided into these sheets, that you should be knowing, and they all are insulated. So in real life, when you take it from some electrical shop, you see the transformer is like this, where there is input and output terminals are provided. So input is to be connected to where, like your plug, and output is to be taken from which device, like you want to connect it to any bulb or anything, you can. That was about the diagram showing you the different views of the transformer. But as I said, energy losses are there in the transformer. No transformer is an ideal transformer, so you get the question on that, what type of energy losses can be there in transformer. Otherwise, if I say for ideal conditions, it is obviously following the energy conservation, because power is constant. same power is there. But in real life there are some losses, which is of course again energy will be conserved, but some energy will appear in the form of heat because of the resistance of the copper windings of the primary and secondary coil when you make the current to flow through them. This we can avoid by using thick wires, because if I am using thick wires, I am just decreasing the resistance, and I'm just means the amount of heat produced will be reduced. So I can avoid this loss by using the thick wiring. Second loss is the flux loss. An actual transformer, what is there, that when we are joining the primary and secondary coil, that coupling is not perfect, so some magnetic flux is getting wasted, and this again can be linking, we can maximize to avoid the flux loss. It means there should not be any gap between the windings, and winding should be perfect. So flux losses can be avoided by maximizing the winding of the coils over each other. Third is the iron losses, in which there are two losses further we can categorize. One I am taking with you is eddy currents loss. As we have discussed, that if I am using a solid core or I use a laminated splitted core, then eddy currents, they are much reduced. The changing fluxes linked with the iron core, eddy currents are produced, which gives you the heat and energy. Energy is getting converted into the different forms and it is getting wasted. So this eddy current losses can be reduced by using the laminated core, as you can see that we. Next is again in iron losses, the next loss is hysteresis substances. Different type of substances are there. Then if we magnetize a substance and then we demagnetize, then we get the graph like this, which is known as the hysteresis loop, and the more the area of the loop means more loss is there in the form of energy or heat form. So whenever some magnetic material is getting magnetization and demagnetization, then area of this loop is giving you the hysteresis loss. And when you are making the current to pass through the iron core, it is getting magnetized and demagnetized. You should know that iron is a ferromagnetic substance, and energy we can use minimize by using the suitable material. We can use some alloy which is having proper value, so that this hysteresis loss can also be reduced. So we can not make them zero, but we can reduce them, simply minimize them by using the suitable material. Hysteresis loss which occurs because of the magnetization and demagnetization repeatedly, because you are making the current to pass not once. Transformer, once you have installed, it works for years. So early humming noise is there also, which is actually because of the vibration of the core. When you are working in some machinery, heavy transformers are used, and then only, otherwise for this small which I have shown you for 24 volt, there this loss may not be there, because the heat loss will be there go into the surroundings. But if you are using the heavy transformers like step up transformers at the factories, you are using for different purposes, if you are using of higher values, then vibration, because of the vibration also the losses are there, and that heating loss we can not convert, will not go into the surroundings easily. So for that we are making different arrangements. But this there is this loss is there because of the humming. You can say, we can call it as the humming loss or loss due to the vibration of the core when you are using it for different purposes. Of course, we are using transformer for the long distance AC supply, like when we want to make the electric AC currents to come to your houses from the power stations. Then you should be knowing that power loss, which is equals to, of course, I square R, is there when you transmit the electric current from the power station to your homes or the factories. then it means it depends upon two factors. One is resistance of the wires which you are using for the transmission. Resistance, if I am having the more, then heat loss or the power loss will be more. And second is the square of the current, that is I square. R we want to decrease and I also we want to decrease our power loss, because this is our requirement. We don't want our power to get lost. So R, if I want to decrease, so I know this formula for the resistance, which is equals to rho L upon A. For a given material, resistivity is constant. So for a given length, I want to travel from the power station to some factory, so that distance also I cannot change. So what can I change is the area of cross section. Area of cross section means in place of thin wires, I should be using the thick wires, which is not very economical. So what we are doing is we are up transformer, because we are increasing the voltage, so we are reducing the current. So when current we are reducing, so power loss will get reduced. So that is why when we transmit the AC, we are not transmitting at 220 volts which you are getting at your places. We are doing it at 44,000 volt or higher values, 20,000 volt. That way we are using the higher voltage for the transmission, because when we use the higher voltage, current is reduced. That is the principle of your transformer. So keeping that in mind, this is very important, that to decrease the power loss, what we are doing practically, we want the current to decrease, and that is done by transmitting the alternating current at high voltage using step up transformer. So this is a very important use of transformer. Of course, we are using step up transformer for the transmission purpose. Other uses, if you want to see at your places, like for battery charging we are using. If we want to stabilize the current at our places, like sometimes it is coming varying 220, 240, 235, so we want 220 only. So for that regulation also we can use these transformers. At different places, like in radio receivers, telephones, we are using the transformers. Higher step up transformers also can be used in induction furnace, in transmission. So we are using transformers in our day-to-day life at many places. Endless places are there, but I have listed only a few. Of course, you can always add more applications for the transformers, as you see in your surroundings, like agricultural purpose also we are using, and for other different purposes in factories also we are using, at our houses we are using. So at different places we are using transformers for different purposes. Few questions, only one or two questions I am taking with you. This is one question just to make you the concept of step up transformer more clear, as we have discussed in the, like I'm reading the question for you. A power station generates 40 kilowatt of power at 400 volt and 100 ampere. This is the power station which is generating the power of 40 kilowatt. Voltage is 400 volt and the current is 100 ampere. Let length of transmission wire is 2 kilometer with a resistance of 2 ohm. Find the power loss during transmission. What will be the power loss if the generated voltage is stepped up to 4000 volt? From 400 volt, if I use step up transformer and increase it up to 4000 volt, it can be done only by using step up transformer. Power which is generating is there given to you. So power, I can write it as I square R. I is given 100 amperes, R is 2 ohm. So power which is there generated, that is 20 kilowatt, but means which is reaching to my place, that is 20 kilowatt. By using this current and the transmission resistance wire, I am able to get 20 kilowatt, but I am generating 40 kilowatt. It means loss is nearly 50%. That is just roughly I have written. Now if I step up to 4000 volts, then current, because input power equals to output power, you can write the formula is equals to EP IP. If you want to write that formula, of course you can write. That is is equals to EP IP. And by using this formula, you can always find the value of I dash, which is equals to 400 upon 4000 into 100 initial current. Then you are getting the secondary current will come out to be 10 amperes. And now the power loss will be current square into R, which is 200 watt. It means that is the power loss is only 0.2 kilowatt. So you can see that power loss is how much reduced when you are using, when you are not using transformer, and when you are using step up transformer, power loss is further reduced. So you will be able to get near about whatever power you are generating, that is getting transmitted. So this is the use of the transformer, on the basis of which of course you can get the numerical. Thank you everyone.